What's going on, everyone? This is Jay from Premier Gaming Entertainment, here to bring to you my takeaway and analysis video for this week's game versus Indiana. And before I get started, I just want to just give out my thoughts and prayers for Coach Mike Hart. Hopefully everything is all right. It's a pretty scary incident, and hopefully everything is okay with him, and he'll be able to recover and be back on the sidelines as soon as possible. So this game was basically a game of two halves. I'd like to give credit where credit is due to Indiana, that played, at least for the first half, a very inspired football game. They gave us everything that they could, and it was a real close game going into halftime. I think, this is my personal opinion, but I think that what happened to Coach Hart had an effect on the team. It's not just a matter of one guy going down, like a player going down because of an injury, and in that situation, they didn't know what was going on. They didn't know what happened to him, and it could have been a life or death situation. I mean, you could see the emotion on the sidelines, and I think it really affected the team. And just they weren't as focused as they needed to be. And this game, for the most part, was sloppy. It's one of the worst played games I've seen Michigan play in a long time. A lot of mistakes, a lot of penalties, bad decisions, tripping over each other in the backfield, missed blocking assignments. A lot went wrong in this game. And those things that were mistakes helped keep Indiana in this game. And the best thing that happened was halftime. Because, they needed to have a break, recalibrate, basically. And, I think that going back to the locker room, getting the phone call from Mike Hart, letting everyone know that he was okay, definitely re-energized the team. And I'm sure, on top of that, they made the adjustments that needed to be made, because in the second half, the game was a total and completely different game. Michigan dominated the second half from start to finish, and took what was a really close game at halftime and ended up being a 3-score victory. And it's one of those things where it's like, obviously you want to be able to just cruise to victory every single game and dominate, but games like these are what build character. Games like these are what can separate you from another team of your caliber. You have to go to war and basically fight in the trenches. You got to pull. Sometimes you just have to pull a win out of nowhere. I mean, it didn't necessarily come down to that, but 10-10 at halftime, where they were in a real dogfight, and to see them totally flip the script in the second half was a pleasant sight to see. Obviously scoring 31 points, is good, but we left a lot of points on the table, and thank God for the defense that really stepped up, especially in the second half. In the first half, they had their moments, but kept it respectable. Only held them to scoring that one touchdown, and from there in the second half, completely blanked them. So, a couple of concerns before I get into talking about the specific groups. one thing that don't understand, but I mean, we scored the last touchdown like this, but this whole thing of short yardage situations where we only run the football, that's got to change. We did it last game, didn't make it. Did it this game, same thing. I'm not sure why we do that. Is it that we don't trust JJ in those situations to get the first down? Is it that we don't have the right plays to execute in that situation? I don't know, but it's like we always have to run the football. We get in first and goal, we got to run the football. It's 4th down and 2, got to run the football. And teams are just loading up on the box. I mean, we got to have some sort of variety there. So that's one of my concerns. Second concern is a lack of taking shots down the field. That's always been my pet peeve with the offense the last few years. And I know in previous years, whether it was Cade or Shea Patterson or whoever, the issue was always, it's not that they won't do it, it's that they can't do it. And I came to that realization, and it's something that I always wondered why it was the case, and then found out that's the reason why. But we didn't do that this game for whatever reason. We didn't take any shots deep down the field. I don't know why. And because of it, we got punished. Indiana played real close to the line, having a heavier box for us to try to run the football in. And we didn't try to make them pay for that, and I don't know why. I mean, I know that Roman Wilson was out, and I know he's, primarily the deep threat, but I'd like to think that he's not the only one that can get behind the defense. Because if that's the case, we're in trouble. So, that's another concern of mine, this whole thing with, not loosening up the defense. They did it in previous games. Don't know why they didn't do it this game, for whatever reason. So I'm glad that we pulled away at the end, but like I said in my my predictions video, something about us going on the road to Indiana in recent years has just not been kind to us. And like I said, we were in a dogfight for this game. I don't know what it is. I mean, not to say Indiana is terrible, but they're not great either. And had it not been for the second half that we had, and the defense really stepping up, it would have been a nail biter at the end. But I mean, at the end of the day, we got the victory, 6-0. We got a huge game next week, and just have to prepare for it. JG got his first 300-yard game. Relatively speaking, he played well. Definitely think he would want to have that interception back. It was a bad decision. But, he's learning on the job, getting better. And he's just going to continue to get better with the more reps he gets. So happy and pleased about that. So, and it's going to be interesting to see what he does going against Penn State. Thankfully, the game is at home, so we're going to see how that goes. So going into grading each position group, let's start with quarterback. So I'm going to give JJ an A. And, he did throw to one pick, first of the year. Bad decision, but overall he played really well, managed the game well. Got his first 300-yard game, as I just mentioned. Still passing with great accuracy. I think he was like about 78%. No disappointing that he didn't take didn't take any real long shots down the field, but overall played a very good game. One thing that is also a concern is him taking off and running. He took a big shot when that play where he made that spin move and then spun back to the middle. We got to get him out of doing stuff like that. He's got to learn to get down. I remember back in the day, Dylan McCaffrey used to run run wild. He just got popped one time and he was out for like half the season. And we can't, obviously at this point, we can't afford that to happen. I don't even know if Cade is ready to come back or not. So we can't afford to have plays like that. So I give JJ an A, 3 touchdowns, 300+ yards passing for the day. Overall, a really great game. The running backs, kind of a struggle, but it kind of goes back to the whole thing with not spreading the defense out and allowing them to crowd the line. So I'm going to give them a B. Blake Corum still doing his thing, 120+ yards, a touchdown again. But something's got to give as far as that goes. He's getting way too many touches. We need to spread that out a little bit more. Still a little concerned as far as the depth at running back. If one of those guys goes down, I don't know who their backup is, so that's kind of a concern. But overall, they played well, so I'm going to give them a B. The tight ends, Luke Schoonmaker, still doing his thing. Played really, really well, whether it be blocking, catching the football. One of JJ's top recipients, and scored a touchdown. Played really well, second in receptions. So I'm going to give the tight ends an A- for the game. Played really well. Wide receivers, overall I'm going to give them an A. Not anything out of the ordinary. There was one missed assignment on a block, Ronnie Bell, on that 4th down play. But overall, they played well. Ronnie Bell had a huge game as far as catching the football goes. Cornelius Johnson, 2 touchdown catches. Blocked, for the most part, blocked really well downfield. So I'm going to give them an A. And the offensive line also giving them an A as well. Very good pass protection. JJ, for the most part, didn't get too much pressure on him. And, a lot of time where he had a lot of time back there to dance around and try and hit the open man and stuff like that. And that's all due to the pass protection from the offensive line. They did kind of get pushed around a little bit as far as run blocking goes and gave up a bunch of tackles for loss, which is kind of disappointing. But overall, I think that they played a good game. On the defense, defensive line, A+. Recorded 7 sacks. Not all of them were from the defensive line, but the majority were. They were getting pressure pretty much all day, especially in the second half, and were just completely disruptive. So I can't complain about that. So I give them an A. The linebackers, I'm going to also give them an A. Pretty, I think Colson had one, Michael Barrett had another sack. So they were also very disruptive in the passing game, as well as, for the most part, there was a couple of chunk plays running, but for the most part, they held Indiana's rushing attack intact. So no complaints there. And then the secondary, they did give up some passing plays, but overall I'm going to give them an A minus. They did get an interception with Rod Moore, and overall played pretty well. Special teams, I'm going to give them. This one's kind of difficult because they did block a kick, and then they did have that big return, but they did also give up, allowing a field goal to get blocked. So I'm going to give them a B plus for that. Had they not got the kick blocked, I would have given them obviously probably an A or an A plus. But overall we played well. The game was closer for the most part than most people would think. But like I said, we seem to struggle, especially these last few games against Indiana on the road. Just road games in general, it's hard and difficult to win. But we got the victory. Happy and pleased about that, and it's on to Penn State. So that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, definitely feel free to leave a like on the video. Let me know how you felt about the game in the comment section below. Were you satisfied with the win? Do you think that we played poorly, played to expectations, or rose above expectations? Let me know how you felt about that in the comment section below. And if you like my content, definitely subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. Just trying to get this channel to grow even more. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. And as always, go blue.